Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Allied General. I'm the Mysterious GG, the British Empire. We have been doing battle against, well, Fritz is what the Russian officer in this game calls them, Jerry. We've been doing battle against Jerry from the deserts of North Africa, up the boot of Italy, now onto the continent proper, because Italy apparently is not part of the continent proper. No, we've got a mixture of British and American flags here. Mostly British. There's a couple of Americans. But yeah, we literally, rather than taking all the cities, we eliminated all German units in the rural river valley. And are ready at last for the final scenario of Allied General as the Western powers. And we're going to drive into Germany itself.
Sir, High Command has issued the order to push forward. They insist that we advance without delay, as we're in a level race with the Russians for Berlin. The PM himself emphasized that the lines of post-war Europe will be determined by the outcome of this battle.
So, from a strategy game perspective, I found it interesting, even playing this game as a kid, that when you play Panzer General, the final scenario is an invasion of the United States. It's obviously a fictional scenario, but it did always seem like they found ways to make it get tougher and tougher, in part because, like, the early scenarios were based on you having the advantage of surprise and other countries having not gotten their war machines up and running. You know, the Russians just seem to have more and more stuff to bring to bear against you. The British have even more support from the Americans in 43 when you try to do the later version of Sea Lion, etc., etc. And then, like, striking against the Americans on their own soil, I'm not sure how this would have really happened. Would the Germans have sailed across the Atlantic to invade the United States? It's hard to say. But there was a logic to, even as you were winning, it was getting harder and harder to win. Same doesn't hold true for Allied General. It becomes more and more about speed and the idea that, like, there's this kind of, because the game isn't going to cover what happens next, in the Cold War era. So there is a sort of an anticlimax that's kind of inherent in Allied General. Once you've stemmed the tide and are, have reached a point where defeating the Germans is inevitable, the drama becomes about winning major victories in order to, conquer Germany before the other side can, the Soviets, or if you're playing as the Soviets, the West. And consider that you can play as either side. I don't know. There's something dramatically unsatisfying about, but it still feels pretty good that, having had some pretty rough fights early on in this whole campaign, we're going to settle the score once and for all with the fascist German war machine. So we're now going to deploy our troops for our scenario. There's no reason whatever to hold anything back as far as spending all our prestige, but it's been piling up like crazy because we can't spend it fast enough. The British just don't have enough fancy toys. I like the idea of using commandos, but it messes everything up when they start out in air transport. So I don't know that there's anything to do with upgrades with them. They are using already the most expensive... hold on, we can have the GB RAM. And we've got different transports available. Now, wait, see, I didn't put on my laptop glasses. I'm wearing my distance glasses, but I'm having a hard time reading. GP RAM Kug. So this is the one that we're using. Oh, I was looking at the wrong area. No, this is actually... So we're already using most expensive and, according to Bobonomics, the best. We've got the biggest guns. The Sherman Firefly, I think that's just going to be it. I think that's the best tank we can get. There's one unit that I know can upgrade. We have the Sherman Firefly costs 230. There's no main battle tank that does better. Firefly, I had to read about it myself. I was curious. It is an American tank that the British put a different, heavier gun on. So that's kind of what makes it special. The only thing that we can improve is we can get the Meteor 3, which is the British jet fighter. This is the only scenario in which we can use it. I'm pretty sure I didn't miss being able to use it in Ruhr. Maybe I did. Doesn't matter. We're going to face very little air resistance. Fighters were very useful to us earlier in this campaign. Extremely useful, critical. At this point, they are clear out the last of the air resistance, and they can soften up entrenchment. They're not really going to be as useful as our bombers at this point. We wouldn't want to have like none, but spending crazy amounts. So like we had the what were we even using? The Spitfire 14. So I guess we hadn't bothered to upgrade to the Spitfire 17, which has slightly better air attack, slightly better air defense. I think I just missed it becoming available. Oh, actually, it has better fuel. That's probably the main thing. But the Meteor has slightly better fuel, same movement, same spotting, higher initiative, which is pretty important for airplane or fighters in this game. Although again, we're not going to come up against. It's got better soft attack. It's got significant. Yeah, it is the best fighter that the British can use. So we're going to upgrade to jet fighters. And the reason we're going to do that is to intimidate the Russians, because it certainly doesn't matter. We don't have jet bombers, unfortunately. We're not doing some like Hitler, like, oh, this Messerschmitt 232 is awesome. Let's make it also a bomber. We're just going to upgrade all our fighters. Yeah, it looks like I just completely... Unless this is also the first scenario where the 17 becomes available. We just missed them if they were available any earlier. So really, and then the Lancaster, I'm pretty sure it never upgrades either. The British were not like rushing a lot of new technology to the battlefield at the end of the war. They were working on jet planes. Pretty much it. The Cromwell. I did have a couple of self-propelled artillery units, and that was still the best because I noticed that these other self-propelled artillery had like no movement. I guess the Priest has the same movement. The Sexton Hardcastle here just doesn't move that far. So I think this is it. I'm creeping up here in order to avoid missing units because the sequence gets a bit messed up. Yeah, your core is not, compared to Panzer General, Allied General really cut down on how many core units you have and force you to play with the actual units that a real Allied commander would have, which I think was, and or maybe I'm wrong, maybe it didn't change too much from Panzer to Allied. It definitely changes from Panzer General to Panzer General 2. They keep that core unit mechanic where you get to like order different unit types and keep the same units and try to keep them alive and have them get experience, but there's not a whole lot of that. In Panzer General 2, you're much more just like work with the units that you're given, with some core units. And I don't know, from a gameplay perspective, it's fun to be able to make your own composition. It's not that realistic that you would be able to just choose, like, you don't work with the units that are provided. You get to choose what you want for your whatever. I'm not making sense. So the Americans are in the south, and we're pretty much up in the north. Can't tell if that's American or British. It's a light cruiser. Not particularly impressive. How do we let them get in behind us there? That's British stuff. Alright, well, let's get some... let's get our bridging engineers placed where possible on river hexes so that they start off as bridges. That is already a bridge hex. This whole video is just going to be us placing units, isn't it? That happens sometimes. It's okay. Hmm. It's like the first, we got Frankfurt on mine. So we have already taken Essen. Oh, that's what that last scenario was. So they're counterattacking up there, I guess, but the main battle, it's going to be... We have to put some troops in Essen to hold it, and we're also attacking Frankfurt. So we're going to bomb the shit out of Frankfurt, I think. Don't overthink these decisions, but so I wanted to have the suppression bomber up here to hit them. Strategic engineers, the right call here. Those guys are backed up with artillery that'll need to get bombed. That's a lot of stuff deployed. And let's not forget that we've got an actual 3 new core units to place here. I wonder if I should go all suppression bombers. There is a weather report somewhere, I think. There was in the last game. I'm trying to figure out what time of year it is and how nice the weather we should expect it to be. Let's go ahead and throw down a save. And I mean, we just kind of need to go for broke here because it's the final scenario. So we are expecting to have some pretty stiff German resistance. Is that a anti-aircraft? I thought it was. Range 0. Yeah, this has to... I'll be kind of careful at how we crack this. Because it may be that we can really cripple that artillery without needing to use planes against it. No, I didn't do that. All right, well, we've got tactical bombers and level bombers and fighters over here. Oh, I didn't think you would count as air defense fire. I thought you had to be directly... Okay. I lost one, but something goofy was going on with the spacing. So... you are air defense. You are also air defense. You are air defense. But you are anti-air. So that's anti-air. So those guys that look like they were the mobile ones, I guess are self-propelled, but they're still interesting. All right. So there's weirdness going on with the spacing of those indications of damage, etc. They're only suppressed by 4. So I still don't actually want to... Okay. Thinking. That's a tactical bomber. That's a tactical. You are a level bomber. Oh, I didn't register that in my mind at all. Oh well. So I probably want to fly some escorts out here, even though they'll be in the way of the. Just so that they can't like snipe anything with fighters. I mean, I'm taking a lot of risk with those troops. Yeah, these are not attacks that would be expected to go that well right now. Maybe I should have put the tanks here. And below that, if I can get rid of these guys, then these guys can come in here and attack. You've got heart attack 6. Hmm. Not surprised at how bad they're expected to do. I know there's artillery in the way, but and these are those anti-tank guns that seem to be really good against seem to be really good against air. Well, the Free French are expected to do a lot better. They got a big experience advantage, I guess. Oh boy. I guess you missed the initiative flip, and well, the Free French, they got a shot. Oof. That didn't go the way it was supposed to at all. Oh, that didn't go right. Wasn't expecting that. Those are supposed to be. They were supposed to be heading down there to help. This is more Free French. I was going to go help that other Free French unit that got their butts whooped. Didn't go my way at all. Nobody can deal with this, huh? Let's give it a shot. Maybe do a little better than expected. Exactly as expected, but their entrenchment's gone. You're still not expected to do anything. Not getting off to a super fantastic start here. Okay, I guess I didn't realize just how little those guys are expected to be able to do. What are you? Are you, anti-aircraft? Come on, get them to retreat. Oh, I really wanted them to retreat. That would have been very useful. Ah, trying to get to where these tanks can cross over and finish that off. Okay, that could have gone a lot worse. Oh, you suck! Alright, this is gonna hurt. Unless I get lucky and get the first, yeah. Here we go. Things didn't go the way I wanted with the Free French in the south, but otherwise, it's just kind of going okay. This is another one of those coin flip fights. I don't know why these are, I guess they're more experienced troops. They didn't get the first attack though, so they're fucked. Well, so yeah, a whole lot of stuff could have gone better, but I've mostly been using American troops and Free French, a little bit of British. When we come back next time, the British are going to try to charge out of Essen to take Munster, Amsterdam, even Old New York wants to do Amsterdam. But really, they're going to start to charge in on Osnabrück and Hanover, and that'll be part of the next video. So yeah, that could have gone better, and I really don't want to forget to buy my new units, but we'll wait till the end of the turn and see what options we have for deploying them. Thanks for watching.